this is your unit to kind of fine tune that skill and make sure that it is in your tool belt when you launch into 7th grade next year. Mason. From Tuesday? Yeah, okay. So leave your packet on your desk and I'll check it during partner work today. A large part of today, if you are that's fine. A few of you I saw did that. If that's you, that's okay. I'll check both. Okay, so a lot of today is going to be for mental mathletes. It's going to seem a little bit not boring, but just obvious. Maybe simplistic, maybe easy, and not as challenging. The reason for starting out this way is I'm creating some gentle problems just to slowly get us to think easily about what a ratio is. I don't care about the answer today. I care about your excellent work and your setup. So if you're blasting through this during the notes and I see that you're already past partner work, you're halfway through bronze, and then I say start bronze, I'm probably going to gift you a brand new packet to do all the problems over using our strategy. It's going to get harder. It will get more challenging with the numbers and the format. You need to have the structure first. Yes, Max? I like doing this, counting the dots. Awesome, yeah. So this is the simplest I can give you is there's a picture. Tom's Pet Service takes care of cats and dogs. Some of them are larger than others. Some of them are cuter than others. Currently, there are more dogs than cats. Count up the cats and raise your hand if you already have it. Few of you blasted through this. Chad, how many cats? Agree, silent yes? Okay. How many dogs are there? Eden.
21.
Agree? Silent yes? Okay, then the total would be 31, right? Okay, so when you have a total, you can compare number of cats to number of dogs a few different ways. You can say there are 10 to 21. 10 cats to 21 dogs. You could also write it as 10 to 21. You could write it as 10 colon 21, 10 cats to 21 dogs, always listing it first with what you said first, and then the second with what you said second. You could also list it as 10 to 21. You could write either 3 as ratios. These are our 3 ways of writing ratios. The number of cats, the total number of pets would be 21. Is that the cats? That's dogs. So it'd be 10 to 31. You're going to get really, really familiar with writing all 3 ways. 31 is the total, so the first is your cats, the second is your total. The first is your cats, the second is your total. Those are 3 different ways that you can write a ratio. Yes? Oh, 8th grade? It's Colby. Kobe, it's Colby, but it could be Kobe. It is ironic if you take off the L. I'm gonna pause that. That was off task. Please make sure you're on task if you have a question. Ratios can be written in 3 ways. We just did that. We're gonna do it 2 times again, so you're really, really, really robotic at this skill. If Mr. MacD scores 4 points for every 2 points Mr. Dudek scores on double shot, you could write that as 4 over 2. You could write that as 4 colon 2. You could say it's 4 to 2. A ratio has the same unit comparing 2 different numbers. A rate is different than a ratio. A rate has 2 numbers that are being compared, but they're different types of numbers. This one was both points. The rate is going to have donuts and then minutes. So I'm going to eat 5 donuts every 2 minutes. I'm also going to show that with a colon. I could also do 5 to 2. The rate is different from the ratio. The rate has 2 different units, donuts and minutes. A ratio has the same unit, point and point. What's the difference between a rate and a ratio? Turn and talk to your partner, evens, hands up. If you don't know, look at example 2 and example 1. Evens, you are starting. What's the difference between a rate? Go. 3, 2, 1. About 2 seconds. Pretty good. Thanks for having eyes, hands on pencils, or desk. So let's look at one more scenario, and then we're going to dive into some of the more 7th grade material. This is all 6th grade review. I'm just touching up on it in case you forgot or you weren't in 6th grade math. So that would be also good. Did you do ratios in 5th grade?
No.
Great. Yeah.
No.
Okay, cool. Then I'm glad I'm starting here. Last example for listing ratios. A 6th grade football team has 3 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, and 5 wide receivers. There's quarterbacks, running backs, and wide receivers. Is this going to be a ratio or a rate? Is it a ratio? Do they have the same label? Or is it a rate? A different label? Chad? A rate has different labels. So this is going to be the rate. It asks for ratio. It should probably say rate. Yeah, that's interesting. I could probably rewrite that. No, I'm pondering. No, all right now. So what's the ratio of quarterbacks to running backs? You would put 3 to 4. 3 to 4 is the ratio of quarterbacks to running backs. You could also list it as 3 colon 4. You could also say 3 to 4. In words, you would put there are 3 quarterbacks, I'll abbreviate it to QB, to 4 running backs, I'll just do RB. There are 3 quarterbacks to 4 running backs. The ratio of wide receivers to the total would be 5 to what? What's my total of all 3? 3, 4, and 5. Cameron. 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 5 is 12. So it's 5 to 12. 5 to 12. 5 to 12. Rewrite that in words. There are 5 wide receivers, 2 there are 5 wide receivers, 5 wide receivers to 12 total players. The total is combined of all of them. Listing ratios can be all of these options. I don't need it just in fraction form or colon form or the 2 form. Yeah. This is probably just a team, so they're just looking at their team in total, even some sideline players. A rate with a denominator of 1 is called a unit rate. When a rate is simplified so that a quantity is compared with 1, it is called a unit rate. So far, you have ratio. Say ratio 1, 2. Ratio. You have rate. Say rate 1, 2. Rate. And there's this thing called unit rate, which is a magical thing in math, and we'll see why it's so great. No pun intended. Didn't mean to rhyme there. But a unit rate is pretty great. Unit rates answer the question, how many or how much for 1? How many for 1 of something? All equivalent ratios have the same exact unit rate. If it's the same, if it's equivalent, the unit rate will be the same. This is why we can use unit rates to find equivalent ratios. Aiden, was that you? Yeah. Unprofessional one. Example 1. Here's your 7th grade problem. If 2 pounds of beans cost $6, how much will 15 pounds of beans cost? We're going to set up our ratio or our rates with the given rate over here. What do they give us that's a complete rate? Well, they tell me there are 2 pounds for $6. 2 pounds costs $6. I'm going to set up the rate, and then I'm going to solve for how much in 15 pounds. Yes. The rate's going to be a different label, so pounds is being compared with dollars. Here's your tricky part of this, and you're going to get better within the next few days if you just keep plugging away. I need to know how to order this, and I'm going to set this up in a certain way. I want to have my missing number on the top. I don't know what. What don't I know? Colton. I don't know the cost. That means I need to know the cost of 15 pounds. This is what I'm trying to find. Then I'm going to go over to the given rate and match it exactly with the label. They tell me there are 2 pounds. Okay, and the 2 pounds costs $6. Does the top match the top? Yeah. Does the bottom match the bottom? So you have 2 pounds and 15 pounds. Your label matches. Not the number, but the actual thing of what it is. Pounds are on the bottom, money's on top. That's what I need to know. Now let's find the unit rates. In the middle, we are out in the middle of a mysterious hunt. And this is going to be our magical unit rate. You could think of it like a wand or a spell or something. I'm going to find a unit rate using the given rate. If I have $6 for 2 pounds, I can ask myself, what times 2 is 6? It's 3. Or I could ask myself, 6 divided by 2 is what? It's 3. So there are $3 for 1 pound. When you find the magical unit rate, this 3, you multiplied the 2 by the 3 to get 6. You're going to take the magical unit rate and do the same thing. If you multiplied 2 by 3 to get 6, you'd multiply 15 by 3. 15 times 3 is 45. $45 is the cost. You just found your answer. Yeah, Reedon. $7.5 times 6. You got the same thing using a different rate. So your method is 100% right. Yeah. You just used the rate of $6 to a mystery and then 2 to 15. Or 15 to 2. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, it appears occasionally. This just really hammers down 7th grade. You need to know what unit rate is. That's why we're going to set it up in this precise way. I'm going to do this first one with you, then launch you off to number 2. Read the first problem, Justice, if Mr. Vasquez. Vasquez
can run 8 miles in 2 hours. Then how many miles can he run in 1 hour?
Great. Let's set up the ratio. They give me 8 and 2. Make that your given rate. What am I looking for? Well, I'm looking for how many miles are in 1 hour. That's interesting. There's a 1 on the bottom. I wonder if that's going to be the same as my unit rates. I'll pause. That's unprofessional. Off task, Sean. That's your first. Let's match the top. If miles was on top, because that's what I'm looking for, miles should also go on top of given rate. Hours was on the bottom. It needs to match. Hours is on the bottom. There were 8 miles in the given and 2 hours. Great. You just set it up. What's the unit rate for this one? Mason. 2 times what is 8? 2 times 4. So your unit rate would be 4 miles to 1 hour. 8. 2 times 4 is 8. 1 times 4 is 4. So you just found that there are 4 miles in 1 hour. For which one?
16 minutes in an hour.
But they're not asking for minutes, yeah. 3 and 4 are, that should say, yeah, number 2, 3. Set this one up for me. Voice 3, 2, 1. You're gonna have a chance for partners, but first let's set this up. Let's go to Nora. What's the given rates that they give me? What numbers do they tell me that are our rates? Great. What number would go on top? 3 or 9? 9 on top. Let's check. Before we finish the given rates, let's go to what we're looking for. The thing that we're looking for should always be on top. Am I looking for pounds or the cost? I'm looking for cost. Put cost on top. Put pounds on bottom. You need to fill out the mystery part first and then fill out your given rate. Jackson, what number goes on top of the given rate? 9 matches the dollars. 3 pounds matches the pounds. Find my unit rate. Kate. I want the unit rate to have 1 on the bottom. What times 3 is 9? Or 9 divided by 3 is what? 3 would be times 3 to equal 9, or 9 divided by 3. That works. Since it's already 1 pound, you know it's going to be the same, but we're going to write it just in case because we care more about the setup. And there are $3 for 1 pound.
Why did you put 1 pound?
Because I don't teach English.
Ooh. Busted.
Go to number 3, pencil it.